We are live. NBA Finals Game 5 just ended in the books. It's a wrap. It's over. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to From Half Court, episode 57, the first ever
Yes, sir.
episode of From Half Court. I am your host, Sean Murphy, alongside my co-host, Jeff Iafrady, soon to be joined by Troy Sergey as well, but he is on his way home from the festivities. But I'm joined by my guy, Jeff, for now. Jeff, what's poppin', man?
Oh, it's going, man. This series has been everything we've asked for and more. It's been so entertaining. I mean, I picked the Warriors in 6, but despite it, every game's been so close. Like tonight, yeah, the Celtics didn't look good offensively, but still, man, it was such a great game all the way into the end, really. So
Yeah.
the NBA gods have treated us with a fantastic finals. I can't lie.
Oh, 100%. 100%. And it was a game that at the beginning, at least in that first quarter, it looked like it wasn't going to be close. It looked like Golden State took commanding lead of this series, and it looked like it was going to be a wrap. However, the Boston Celtics, they showed their pros, and they showed what they can be at their best and what they can be at their worst, in my opinion. I think for one, first of all, Jason Tatum, I loved some of his aggression at points. However, they just looked tired, and a lot of their jump shots and a lot of their shot selection to me showed. It was a lot of deep, long mid-range twos. It was a lot of contested threes. It was a lot of, jump shots out of rhythm, hesitation. Derek White and guys just didn't have the jump shot all night long, and you could tell. And so, and in return, the Warriors, this is the worst game Steph Curry's going to have all finals. This was the Celtics did a great job defending Steph Curry, but it was guys like Andrew Wiggins, which we just had Neil Rule in our company Slack chat argue that he might have been the best player this entire series, which I would not go that far because Steph's been pretty phenomenal. But Jeff, how good has Maple Jordan been?
Oh, he's been great. Both sides of the ball. I posted on Twitter. He's been the most consistent besides Curry. I'm not going to sit here and say he's been the best player because Steph's given us like us. I'm not a Warriors fan. I don't know why I just said us. I'm rooting for the Warriors, so now it's us. Steph's given the Warriors 34 and 6. So he's been great. He had one bad night. Andrew Wiggins stepped up and they needed him. I mean, Clay stepped up as well, but he hasn't been as consistent as you like him to be. He's still coming back from those injuries. So Andrew Wiggins has been great, man. What he did to Jason Tatum tonight, especially in the fourth quarter, Jaylen Brown, his switch ability, either or versatility, his rebounding. What do you have, like 15 rebounds last game? And he had another, I believe, a double-double this game. So the guy's been magnificent, not just offensively, but defensively. And that's where they need him to be. They don't have, besides Andrew Wiggins, they're not playing Kuminga, so they don't have a lot of athletic guys out there. They have Otto Porter, but Andrew Wiggins is that piece they need to win these finals. No doubt about it.
You know what I think it is? I think, honestly, you look at Andrew Wiggins, and it's a guy who obviously did not live up to the number one overall pick expectations and everything that came with being that guy. However, what we have seen is in a situation where all he has to do is come in and play basketball and fill his role and do his job, that he can thrive. And it's kind of like how Draymond talked about how the reason why he felt like there was a mistake for Kevin Durant to leave the Warriors was because when he was in Golden State, all he had to do was just play basketball, right? Well, Andrew Wiggins, all he has to do in Golden State is just play basketball. He doesn't have to worry about being the number one overall pick. And I think what we're seeing is a guy who we knew at points in his career had the intangibles to be a superstar. I mean, let's not forget, this guy was traded for Kevin Love and was a number one overall pick for a reason. And now I think we're seeing, I mean, he went toe to toe with Jason Tatum tonight. And
he did,
in my opinion, had a better game. But now, ladies and gentlemen, not only are we joined by the other co-host of the podcast, but one of my best friends, my guy, Troy Sergey. Troy, how's it going, my man?
It's going good. Just watched a Game 5 victory from the Golden State Warriors. Excellent
Yeah, man.
game.
Yeah.
Man, every moment had you on your toes. It really did.
Yeah. So Troy, I think for me, this was not only intrinsically the Warriors, you know, like you see a guy like Draymond Green, who all series long has been ridiculed, has been the subject of conversation with his play, and now he comes out and has a dominant Game 5 performance. You have Andrew Wiggins and Klay Thompson both putting up strong displays at home. And then on top of that, you have the game-changing play of Gary Payton and Jordan Poole off the bench. I mean, when you look at the Warriors, it's like, you know, they talk about strength and numbers. It's truly it is really an attack from all angles. It's from everybody on the team. There was not a single player on the Golden State Warriors tonight who did not play. I mean, granted, some of that's because of garbage time and, you know, but like, you know, it tells you like how many guys they go deep, even in a final series. That's impressive.
Yeah.
So
you're absolutely right. We saw a complete Warriors team this tonight.
What's the conversation we always have on this podcast? It's the confidence that these coaches instill in their players. You saw the Warriors, Gary Payton, the second. I got to say this too. I got to give a shout out to my man because they put a graphic up during the game on how many teams he's been on the last, you know, his whole entire career being here, in and out of the G League. Now he's playing for the Warriors a significant role, and that's a guy that comes in, contributes, and he's not even a great shooter, but still, to your point, strength of numbers, they're getting everything out of everybody, and that's what you need to win the finals. I mean, this, like you said, Sean, we talked about this also in a previous video. Like, it's not about always your stars. Your Curry had a bad night, and they still won. Yeah. So it's about the others.
Yeah, 100%. And now you have a situation where this series is going to Boston. Adam, I did answer you, you little
tell
bitch.
Tell Adam to hop on. Tell him to hop in here.
Yeah, hey, you know what, Adam? If you want to get in the Thunderdome, here, I'll drop the link in the comments for you, Adam. Come right on in, buddy. But I did answer you. I'm feeling great, Adam. This was a really competitive game. Golden State has been the better team so far throughout this series. However, Game 6 in Boston, I think you're going to see a very energetic, physical Boston Celtics team that will be very ready to go. In my opinion, this is going 7. There's no chance in the world. I don't think Golden State closes it out in Boston. I think this is going 7. I really do.
Sean, that is bold because you know Jeff and I are saying 6.
Oh, I know.
I need it, Troy.
I understand.
Troy, I need it.
Listen, I understand, and I completely get it. First of all, in my opinion, I just think the way that you've seen this series go, this is the first time we've seen a team obviously win like 2 games in a row in a series. But I mean, also, this has been very back and forth. Even tonight was very back and forth. And so, generally speaking, when your season is on the line is when you see guys step up the most. And I think just like you see the Warriors role players and the entire cast of the Warriors excel and improve and do better at home, I think you saw the exact same thing out of the Boston Celtics in Game 3, right? So I think my argument is that I think it's going to be a very similar looking game. And I'm not saying it's for certain. I mean, like, you know, that's just what my gut's telling me. That's just the way I feel like this series is going. However, it's going to depend on if this freaking team can get some freaking offense. Here we go. We've been talking about for a while. I have to get this freaking Adam Baydoun guy on the podcast. And ladies and gentlemen, from the Morning Woodward Show, Adam Baydoun. Adam, how you doing, my guy?
I'm great. How are you, man? Are you holding up okay?
Dude, I'm doing great. I'm holding up just fine. Listen, first of all,
you ever fucking tweet me again, all right? Number one, don't you ever fucking tweet me.
First
Game
of all,
3 of a goddamn NBA Finals. I will
first of all, You said it was the series was done after game 2. My tweet
Because if you actually watch the fucking game, Sean,
So
the Warriors
what?
outplayed the
What are you
Celtics
talking
7 of
about?
the 8 quarters.
What did you watch about tonight
crazy.
that says this series is over? Didn't you not see Boston have
hey,
back and forth
hey,
runs?
hey, Sean.
There was no. Go ahead.
Sean, you know what they're gonna have around Boston? Beware, caution, Curry in Boston next game. He's not gonna have 2 back-to-back bad games, baby. He's
Yeah,
gonna,
you're
he's
not
gonna have a
wrong.
good game.
Too, Jeff.
It's
You're not
gonna be
wrong.
up to
Nobody
the
ever
others
tells
next
me
game.
that Jason
It's
Tatum
3
or
against
Jaylen
1,
Brown.
Sean. It's 3 against 1.
Yeah.
No,
If
it's
I ever
possible.
hear-
It's very plausible though. It's very plausible. It could go 7, honestly.
Hey, 3 against 1 is not a great number for the Warriors,
Yeah.
so I wouldn't feel
Yeah.
super confident about that. But in addition, in all
Touchy
seriousness,
subject.
listen, I just think you're going to get in games. I think you're going to get a very physical game 6. It's going to be really gritty, very similar to this one. I think it's going to be low scoring, but I think also, Boston has to find ways to get easy buckets. I think that's the biggest thing. Like Andrew Wiggins is forcing Jason Tatum to be really uncomfortable, getting a lot of turnovers. And that's the thing. I haven't seen the Boston Celtics have an easy offensive game in 2 rounds.
Yeah.
And so and at a certain point, they need guys on the perimeter moving. They need guys cutting to the basket. They need some movement because this 5 out. Like I get they want guys.
The last 2 games are what the Boston Celtics have been essentially for a majority of the playoffs, especially against the Miami Heat. 19 points in game 4. 19 points in game 4 in the fourth quarter. 20 points tonight. They're garbage. They're tense. Or what you want to call them, young? I don't care. Don't ever tell me. By the way, Jason Tatum's a superstar. Fuck whoever said that. I forget who.
I still think he's a superstar. I would not.
How is he not
I
a
would
superstar?
strongly disagree. Still
He
got
is
to
not
the
a
finals.
superstar. There's levels to this shit.
No.
Steph Curry's a superstar. What Jason Tatum is, he's a star player. He's a star player. He's not a superstar. Superstars don't miss 3 fourth quarter free throws. Superstars don't fucking airball when you're down by 9.
Steph missed multiple free
James
throws
Harden
this
a
playoffs,
superstar?
including in the fourth quarter.
James Harden's not a superstar.
Hey, listen.
Your definition and my definition are completely different. Superstar for me is reserved for champions. It's reserved for the guys in the league that are the best of the best. Steph Curry is one of them.
So
LeBron
by
is one of
default,
them.
Jason Tatum can't be a superstar then because they have to win a championship. Is that what
Not
you're?
necessarily.
So Joker or Embiid? What about Joker and Embiid?
Oh man, Joker's a tough one. Embiid, they're both tough. They're borderline superstars, but you got to deliver in the postseason.
My point was James Harden in Houston because he was choking in fourth quarters in the playoffs. I feel like that's still a superstar though. Like, am I wrong?
No, he's not a superstar. No, hell no.
Maybe not now. Maybe not now.
No,
but
even then, is Russell Westbrook a superstar? Back in his day?
I think
I don't know. That's not a superstar to me. I don't know.
I think that's besides the point. I think
Tatum can become a superstar. That's the thing, you know?
Yeah.
He can still be a superstar, but the point is, I don't want to hear that this guy is at this level that he's just not yet. Because as good as he has been, these fourth quarters, again, game 4, game 5 is exactly what happened in the Miami series. They got tense, and Miami didn't punish them for it. The Warriors are punishing him for it. And you're telling me that why is Andrew Wiggins, why does he have 16 rebounds? Why? How is that a thing?
Can I ask you something? Neil just in the Big D Energy group chat, he said Andrew Wiggins is the best player in the series.
No.
For the Warriors. The Warriors.
Cap. That's me.
And I get what he does
prisoner of the
defensively.
moment.
Okay, I was gonna say, please answer that. Like, what?
Prisoner of the moment. Steph Curry. Game 4.
It's got to be Steph Curry.
Game 4 in Boston, down 2-1, 43-10-4. Like that's not even
right.
All right. That's not even a thing. Sorry.
That's just one of his great performances these finals. Like he's already had like 3 great games already. Where he's been awesome.
No. Look, Wiggins finally. Look, it's a nice story, right? Wiggins for the first time since being the number 1 overall pick on the biggest stage finally gets to deliver. It's an amazing full circle moment. 26 and 13. Steph struggled. Klay Thompson had a pretty damn decent game, especially in the second half. So it was a good game. And again, if you're Boston, you score 94 points in game 5, 97 in game 4, you're in trouble. Yeah. You're in trouble.
And again,
the white dudes aren't hitting the threes like they usually do. Grant Williams looks like a tub of lard. Robert Williams is probably, honestly, the best player outside of Jason Tatum. Marcus Smart just looks clueless on the court right now.
And Jaylen Brown,
they figured out to send Jaylen Brown to the left side. They're making him dribble with his left hand.
Yeah,
and he's becoming less effective. It's
they're also they're also
Yeah.
having a harder time creating separation as well, because
Oh, yeah.
like this is even for the Celtics, like all the wings and all the physicality that the Warriors bring is something that that's they've just been facing that challenge all series. But I think Brown in particular, just I think both Brown and Tatum got worn down. 40 they both played 44 minutes, didn't sit in the second half, and I think they settled for a lot of really bad looks. Like I said, just long mid-range shots, really contested threes, things that, a lot of like wasted possessions where they could have used more time in the shot clock and they could have worked a little bit harder to get themselves a better look. In my opinion, that was like the biggest thing that I noticed, was that there were just too many possessions I felt like the Celtics just gave away.
And you got to understand too, defensively, like the Warriors are going to make you play, like not miss any assignments for 48 minutes.
Yep.
And you saw the Celtics through the first 3 games be really well at that. Coordinate. They were, miscommunicating. And then you saw this game, especially late. Like the Warriors offense, they're going to make you move. And they missed a couple assignments and Clay made them pay. You saw it. So it's just how it is, man. The Warriors will make you pay. And if you're not hitting shots, they'll go on runs. It's just how it
and
works.
Draymond was back to finding guys easy looks. Like he and Clay worked really well together all game. He had a lot of hustle plays, good rebounds, was diving for loose balls, was being a menace all game, was kind of being back to having his effects. I mean, listen,
Gary Payton had a good game. Gary Payton had a good game. He was another one. That was another like unsung hero. I think he returned to game 2. He's just a body that can defend. He's a very, very good defender.
Mm-hmm.
Again, if you told me before the series started that it was a physical series and the refs were going to let it play out, I would have told you Boston would win. The fact that Golden State is more physical and playing better defense than the Boston Celtics, and let's just call it what it is, the Celtics are a better team. Mm-hmm. They're all in their prime. They're all much better at this stage in their career, outside of maybe Wiggins and Curry on the Warriors.
Mm-hmm.
Boston's the better team. It's the deeper team. They have better rim protection.
Right.
And they're losing at their own game. When this guy took over in January, since that point, I believe they have the number 1 offensive and defensive efficiency rating in the NBA.
Yep.
That's not an accident. Like, this is a damn good team. They're well coached. When you lose at your own game, that hurts. When Grant Williams, Al Horford, the white dude, I forget his name, when these guys aren't hitting threes, when they're not hitting threes, look, man, when you're white, your job on an NBA court is to shoot threes, all right? I don't care what anybody tells me, all right? Anyway, we don't need to get that. We don't need to go there. But the point is, that's a problem. Sub 100. You want to score 113 points in the finals, Boston, go ahead. I know for a fact Golden State can do that. Can you hold Golden State under 100? I don't know. That's tough.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the difference of the game. Boston on their bench, their key guys they bring out the bench, Derek White and Grant Williams. Between the two of them, 4 points. Between the two key guys that Golden State brings off, Gary Payton and Jordan Poole, 29 points. So just right there in itself, that's the game right there. Mm-hmm. So, there's just a lot of different things where, again, this just shows why the Warriors have been so great for so long, is because it's the strength in numbers and it's the unexpected guys. And even guys like Kevon Looney, who had limited time on the court and wasn't able to really get in there for much action because of his foul trouble. He had key rebounds when it mattered most. He was able to make plays and still have a difference on the game, even in his.
Who's the most impactful player for the Boston Celtics? Anybody?
Robert Williams.
I was going to say it's Robert Williams.
That's a consensus. I think all 4 of us agree. Robert Williams gave them 30 minutes today and they lost.
Mm-hmm.
That's worrying. If he played 16, 18 minutes, I'd understand. He gave you a full 30. The guy's banged up.
On one leg.
Yeah, I mean, he is their most important player. He takes away so much from Golden State. Wiggins doesn't score all those points in the fourth quarter if Robert Williams is giving you 36, 38 minutes a night. And that's just not the case. Right. He's banged up. And when he gives you 30, you look at the box score, you're like, damn, Boston, that's a good amount of minutes. We're happy with that. And, of course, he was plus 11 on the court, and everyone else was negative. That's tough. It's a tough pill to swallow for Boston.
Absolutely, and his impact comes obviously on the defensive side. So with Derek White, though, I want to bring him up because he's been so important for the Celtics in this game. He didn't have a great game, and you saw the impact. Marcus Smart was getting so frustrated. I think there was a couple calls down the stretch that they missed on Marcus Smart, and I kind of agreed with
He got
Marcus
pretty
on some of
mad
them.
quick.
The Clay push off or
But he
wide
collapsed
open
too,
three.
though. Like that's the thing is like he allowed it
Oh
to
well,
get
yes,
to him.
the
Yeah.
tech, and then he slapped Jordan Poole in the face,
Mhm.
like all
Yeah.
that stuff. So you
Yeah.
know, it happens, man. They're gonna lose a game in Golden State, clearly. I mean, I picked the Warriors to win tonight. I honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if the Celtics win next game, but I have the Warriors in 6, and I'm sticking by it. I think Curry has a better game next game. That everyone else will kind of just string along. Hopefully, Clay hits like he hit tonight, and they'll get the job done.
Yeah,
And
I
I
think
think
next
the
game's
biggest
going to be very
thing,
physical. Go
the
ahead, Troy.
biggest,
Oh,
the
yeah.
biggest thing, Jeff, you said it. The Warriors are able to do all of this without Steph
It's
contributing that much. Like imagine what he's going to do in Game 6.
He didn't hit a 3-pointer,
I
right?
just see it.
Well, I mean, okay,
He's a
but I mean,
superstar.
realistically,
He's
but
a superstar.
okay, but Troy, I mean, like, let's balance it out. You're not getting that kind of production from everybody on the Warriors again either. You're not going to have a game.
But they might not need it. They might not need it.
Right.
But also, the
I don't
Boston
know.
Celtics aren't going to miss all those threes at home either. Let's be realistic
the
about
Warriors
that.
were 9-40, so you know what difference.
Yeah, they
Right.
missed a ton of threes too tonight.
Right.
You know, for me,
Did Steph even hit a 3?
Steph
Did he
makes
even hit
more
one?
impact even when he's
Okay,
off
yeah.
the ball, and that's like one of the most underrated things about him.
That's
What 20?
Yeah.
What was he? 16 and 8 tonight. Like low
Mhm.
impact, but of all the starters, he had the highest plus minus on the court. Why?
Yep.
Because he's running around and he's causing havoc, and
Yes.
everyone has to know where's Steph Curry. And then
Yep.
it lets Gary Payton
Changes-
drive to the lane. It lets people cut into the lane, get easy layups. Draymond Green looks better. Everybody looks better when this guy's on the court. There's a reason why when he's on the court in the NBA Finals, they have the best offensive efficiency rating. And when he's not there, it's the worst in NBA Finals history over the last 50 years. There's a reason.
And you could tell too, the Celtics were frustrated because they shut down Steph Curry. That was mission. That was the objective, and everybody else came along. And that's got to be the most like demolishing feeling in the world when you a guy who's been averaging 4 and 6 this entire finals, you get him to not hit a 3 tonight, and Andrew Wiggins shows up.
Derek White. What Derek White have? Like 1 point tonight? He was awful.
Yeah,
Yep.
he was a no show. So it's going to be interesting going back to Boston. And when you have a mentality of it's do or die,
Yep.
it's just different. That's why I won't be surprised if the Celtics take it 7, because when you're facing that type of elimination, you know, especially at the Garden where fans are going to yell some probably racist shit.
It's the third time. It's the third time in a row they faced this. They were down 3-2 when they faced Milwaukee. They were down 3-2 when they faced Miami. Like, this is just what they do, it seems like. Well, no, I'm sorry. They were up 3-2 in the Miami series.
Yeah.
I have that flip, but they did it in the Milwaukee series as well. So this isn't entirely foreign to them. So they like Jaylen Brown said after the Miami series, they like to do things the hardest way possible. Well, you chose the hardest way possible. Now you're down 3-2 and you have to force a game 7 that you'd have to win in Golden State to win the finals. It's looking increasingly more and more like Steph Curry's going to get his finals MVP and the Warriors are going to be taking home to Larry O'Brien.
Yeah, Neil's a jackass. He said Wiggins is the best player because he knows if Steph Curry and the Warriors clinch out Game 6 and he gets finals MVP, that everybody, including me, and I am one of the biggest Isaiah Thomas fans, there's no doubt anymore. Steph Curry arguably can make the argument now. He's the second best point guard of all time.
Right.
After this chip, it'll be official, done, sealed, delivered.
Yeah. He gets his finals MVP. That's actually a good point. I forgot Neil's on that. So that's probably honestly why as well. He said, I'd argue Andrew Wiggins is the most important player, but I don't think he considered what you just brought up, Adam. His impact on the court, even when he's not playing well, changes what you're doing defensively. It honestly is. People underestimate the impact. So glad you're making a case. I'm not crazy.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, Steph just his presence on the court alone, when you have that sheer shooting ability, even when you're 0-9 from beyond the arc, you still have to respect him at all times because he's the greatest shooter of all time, and it's not even particularly close. And the scary thing is that he has the second greatest shooter of all time as his running mate, and then he has the best young shooter in the league as his little Padawan that comes off the bench and hits crazy shots.
Who's hit some daggers, by the way, like buzzer beater, straight middle finger to you and your mother, like last minute shots. And that's what someone just brought it up in the chat. It seems like every time he's hit these buzzer beaters, it just takes the heart out of the Celtics after that. Like,
well, look at the Marcus Smart swing sequence, right? So he gets he gets Marcus Smart teed up. He nails the free throw, 1 point swing. They go to inbound. Marcus Smart follows him. goes down, hits a turnaround jumper mid range.
Yeah.
That's a 3-point swing, and if you take away Boston's possession like they did, it's actually a 5-point swing. Like that alone killed them. The 3-pointer at the end of the third quarter, that was just a hey, watch out, like we're not losing this game moment.
Yeah.
Right.
Big middle.
But Jordan Poole only had 14 points. Like it was just like whatever. It was whatever. But it was like an impactful 14.
Yeah.
So if the Warriors win, is there any chance that
Hey, I never said this wasn't going to be a competitive series.
I don't give a shit what you said. Don't you ever tweet me again. I'll fucking kill you, man.
Yeah, didn't you have 60% last time Boston would win, Sean?
Hey, I'm still feeling confident that this series is not over.
Boston's a better team, but the best player on the courts, he lives in Golden State.
Yeah, well,
no, I was going to say, if the Warriors win, is there any chance that like Wiggins will get MVP or something like that, or do you think it's automatic?
It's got to be Steph.
Got to be the narrative, man.
No,
that
listen. After
Steph didn't get that first
Iguodala
MVP is beyond me.
Yeah.
That it was Mr. the LeBron stopper when he put up 36, 12, and 10 in the finals against you. They stopped LeBron, and meanwhile Steph Curry leads the team points, steals, assists, plus minus. Like I don't even need to get into this. I can't believe that was the whole thing.
Also, can we keep reminding people that Game 4 was just a couple days ago? Can we not do we not remember what he did in Boston? Even though he struggled tonight, the things that he's done leading up to this point, he's been absolutely on fire almost the entirety of this finals. He literally broke a record in the first quarter of Game 1. This is.
You guys want to see the difference? Tonight, Steph Curry 0 for 9 from the field, right?
Yep.
0 for 9 from the field. Which game did Jason Tatum struggle in? Was it game?
It was Game 1.
Game 1.
Yeah.
All right. Steph Curry led all starters in plus minus on the court when he went 0 for 9 from the field.
They're plus minus.
Jason Tatum in Game 1, where they won, didn't lead the team. Now, who led the team was Derek White off the bench, and then Jaylen Brown. Not that Tatum didn't have impact. He did have 12, 13 assists. I don't remember, but the point is, Steph Curry, it's not a factor. Jason Tatum can go off the court, and Boston can figure it out. If Steph Curry's not on the court, Golden State are a lottery team. It's really bad.
Yeah.
And I think Jason's figuring that out slowly, how to be, as impactful, because you're seeing it when he's not scoring or he's not shooting well. He's finding other ways to impact the game. But to your point, he's still in that stage. I would argue he's a superstar just because of how impressive he's been this postseason. But
our definitions are different. That's all it is.
Yes,
it's not really much. I think he's a star player. I do. He's fantastic. But when you choke and miss three-fourth quarter free throws.
Yeah, no, you deserve criticism.
I think it comes back to Boston, their biggest weakness is they truly need a star point guard, or they need a true playmaking point guard that can help this team get to the next level. And that was the idea of having Kyrie.
I don't think so. Marcus Smart's nice. He gave you what?
Well, Marcus Smart's nice. He's great defensively, and I'm not saying you get rid of Marcus Smart, but I
think Boston have the second or third most talented roster. They should win the series, and they won't because they're just early in the process, unfortunately. Or Jason Tatum just decides to turn into a real superstar and takes over the series. That's the way. He needs to put up 40 in Game 6 if they want a chance to win, in my opinion.
Right. What I'm saying is going into next year, looking at the long term of let's say Boston loses this finals, right? What they would need to do going forward. I really do think they would need to find a point guard or someone that can help.
Westbrook.
Yeah, that's a great trade, actually. Who says no? That the old Lakers Celtics swap, that would be great. I think it's a flawless idea, Adam.
But you have a point, Sean. I agree with you. They got to find at least a true point guard, and not to people forget. I get the Boston Celtics made the finals, but they went through, and I'm not trying to discredit them, tough teams, but also teams that you could make a case for in a way that next year the Bucks, they'll be 100% healthy. The Nets, will be better. You have Miami Heat. Well, hopefully we'll add another star next to Jimmy Butler. So the East is getting better and better. So to your point, people just think the Celtics can just run it back next year and make the finals. It ain't that easy. East is tough.
Yeah. But what I will say is Adam, I will absolutely tweet you as many times as I get the chance because it's absolutely a blast and I love it. But
it's a roller coaster on his Twitter, man. I love it. one night he's pissed off, one night he's happy. It's a show, dude.
I mean, with me, it's always consistent. It's always Sean. It just depends what tone it is. You know what I'm saying?
It's just a consistent FU. I love it.
Yeah, I have a zero bullshit policy. I don't let people talk shit on Twitter and get away with it. Sean Murphy.
It's
June
funny.
8. What a start by the Celtics. Too bad the finals is already over. Wink, wink. Right, Adam? Go fuck yourself, Sean.
I love you too, Adam.
I'm so glad you came, Adam. Honestly, you had to come in and just bring the receipts with you.
100%. Yeah, Adam, this was your first victory lap on me in basketball.
Hey, I'll take it.
Wait, it's not even over. You can't give it to him yet.
Well, no, I'm not. Listen,
listen. The objective fan would have told you in the first two games, Boston was lucky to walk out with a win. All right, they outplayed Boston 7 of the 8 quarters. Series tied 1-1, whatever. Boston show out in Game 3. They played a very good game. Game 4, Steph Curry does what Steph Curry does. And Game 5, you saw the difference. I think it's experience. You saw what Steve Kerr, by the way, nobody's talking about Steve Kerr and the matchups and the lineups he's putting out there.
Hey,
Iguodala played solid minutes. I don't care what anybody says. Draymond Green, I don't know. His job is basically just to piss off the Celtics, and it's working. And Gary Payton, man, I think that guy. Without Gary Payton, I don't think the Warriors make it to 5 games. To be honest with you.
Yeah, he brings a different level of physicality, and it's when you can have Wiggins in addition to Payton, in addition to even Poole on the perimeter was having some moments where in the second half where he was really improving defensively. Obviously, they were really starting to attack him, and Marcus Smart was posting up on him quite a bit, and that was something that they were utilizing quite a bit as well. But I think. Going into the rest of this series, I really think, for one, if Boston has any chance of being back in this series, they need their 3-point shot back, and they need it back yesterday. They need guys like Grant Williams, who, in my opinion, has been mentally out of this entire series. They need guys like him to step back up.
He's fat. I mean, if you're relying on Grant Williams, that's just not a thing. He's a little pudgy. He has a few games where he hits a few 3-pointers. He had that breakout game against Miami, and ever since he's just been, what you'd expect a, pudgy guy to be. You'd pick him last in a pickup game of basketball.
Yeah, and that's what's interesting about the Celtics is they run 7 deep. So if one guy or 2 people aren't playing well, you're out of luck. And if it's Grant Williams and
Derek White scores 11 points tonight. No, excuse me, 12 points. Derek White scores 12 points tonight. The Boston Celtics win.
Yep.
Yeah. That's how important every player is that sees minutes. It's crazy.
Exactly. And that's why you need, even guys like Al Horford, who in my opinion, I think he's another guy who's just kind of gassed too. I think you're just seeing the true health struggles that the Celtics are dealing with as well. Kind of start. And I'm not saying that as an excuse because, the Warriors are, they straight up have been the better team the last 2 games, just have. But, in addition, I think part of it too is just, I think as the series has gone on, I think you're seeing guys like Horford fade into the background a little bit because how much of an endurance thing it really is. I mean, you're playing bigger minutes. It's, you've never played this deep in the season before. It's a different thing. So,
we got one last important question for Adam, though. Is how much money and what bet is he putting on the Golden State Warriors for Game 6?
Wow.
What's the FanDuel bet by Adam going into?
And by the way,
I did not bet tonight.
Not many people can match this man what he's putting on next game. I bet.
Yeah.
So it's not an advice thing. It's a his thing.
My ego is telling me to drop my entire bank account on the Warriors in Game 2. Game 6. But the problem I have is I don't really bet on basketball often. I bet on the Warriors at halftime in Game 4. That made me some good money. But I typically don't bet on basketball because the truth is I make a shit ton of money during the football season, and
I
I'm
can
pretty
confirm.
dude, yeah, I'm pretty I'm okay. I'm average at betting everything else, but during football season, I rake every sports book for their money. So yeah.
Yeah,
He does.
that's fair.
College football, that's included, not just
But,
NFL.
but how much? Just to spite me, how much are you considering putting up just out of the
I'll put
spite
at least
factor alone?
I'll put 1,500 on the Warriors to beat the Celtics in Game 6, and if I lose, you're fired.
Man, this works out great for
That's
me. If you win, you get a ton of money. If you lose, I'm fired. This is great.
You keep a job if I win. You should be happy.
Yeah, literally. Just
This
now
is me,
you
man.
made him a Warriors fan all of a sudden.
Yeah, I'm about to go get a Steph Curry jersey really urgently now. I don't know why, but
Funny,
oh my gosh. Well, Adam, you're the guy, man.
Yeah,
You know
thanks
I
for
love
having
you.
me on, guys. I got to prep for my show. I'm fucked.
Hey, just remember, whatever you say and do, I'm back in Detroit next week, man. So just know. You got to deal with me next week, man.
Damn.
Well,
I
hey,
got to
Adam,
deal with Ryan or Monty talking about Michigan State. I got to kill him tomorrow.
Oh my God, I got it. Yeah, I just saw that video, man. I love you, Ryan.
There's like some things I don't like showing up to work and doing. That's one of them.
That man, he was asking for it when that statement came out of his mouth.
Dude, I saw it. Like.
What did he say?
You don't want to know.
He said, "Yeah, well, I just want to hear."
I saw it at 6 o'clock. I saw 50 quote tweets. I didn't even need to listen to the video. I just knew Ryan said something like dumb.
Just to give Sean context, he basically said all Michigan State's concerned about is beating Michigan, which is
that's why they beat you
hard.
That's why they beat you 10 out of the last 14 times.
They're trying to get to a natty. That's what I've talked to Owen all day. He's been covering MSU for the last 2 years, man. Like Michigan's not in their. No, it's not in the menu.
They only care about beating Michigan, not with winning championships.
I don't think that's how that works.
Yep.
Love you, Ryan, though. I just don't think that's how it works.
That ain't it. But yeah, no.
I got to give Mass credit. He sent prep out before I did. It's 12:13 in the morning right now.
Hell yeah.
Well, I gotta finish prep, and then I gotta wake up at 4:30. So you guys need to let me get the hell out of here.
Yeah,
I'll see you in the morning, baby.
Yeah, get out of here. Check out Adam on the Morning Woodward Show on Woodward Sports Network, 8 a.m. with Maddie and Terry Foss. Go check it out. Well, no Terry tomorrow morning. It's no Terry Tuesday. But, Jeff, before we end the pod, I mean, obviously NBA draft stuff's next week. We did some draft content. We have a draft video dropping in the morning talking about Benedict Mathurin and Jalen Duren and some of these other guys. But before we end the pod and before we close this one early, first of all, thank you to everyone that's tuning in. First ever live pod that we've done here from Half Court. Be sure to follow all of us at Troy Sergey 44, Jeff Ifrady on Twitter, Sean Half Court right down here. But also be sure to join as a member and subscribe to the channel, and be sure to be in tune with everything we have going on. You can click that join button right down below. You can be one of our members, just like Dominique Davis, one of our OGs. Shout out to Dominique. I saw he was in the comments earlier. So if you're still here, bro, thank you so much. We love you, man. But anyway, Troy, Jeff, let's give our Game 6 predictions before we go down. I will start. I have Boston winning by 10. I think they pull away in the fourth. I think we see Game 7.
And let me. I'm gonna give two different variations of this. And it's tough. My heart is saying Warriors because my pick will be right. Warriors in 6. I can come on Twitter. I can get my tweets out saying, "Hey, I told y'all Warriors in 6. Steph Curry Finals MVP." Tweeted it like 2 months ago, and so I'd be very happy. But my brain is feeling like the series is going 7, but I'm sticking with my heart. And I want to be right, Sean. So Warriors in 6. I think the Warriors get it done. I'll say less than 10. I think they close it out tight by a couple 3 points. Yeah.
Hey, I don't blame you. The Warriors have looked absolutely great. And listen, I'm gonna be happy for whoever wins this finals. I want that to be known. All this joking stuff. Listen, Adam can try and take a victory lap all he wants. I was still right. But Troy, Troy, what are your thoughts? Who you got in Game 6?
Yeah, I got Warriors by about 4 or 5 points. So I'm going to kind of go to the later half of Jeff's bet. I just think you're gonna have a great Steph Curry game. I can't bet against Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, guys. Like I really
I'm with you,
can't.
Troy. I'm with you.
I can't do it, Sean.
Yeah.
And then, hey, Sean, by the way, if it goes 7, we're just going to say what we just said, but in game 7. Like, it's going to be the same exact thing. We're going to be like, well, Steph's going to show up in game 7. You know that, right? Like, we're just going to keep going.
I got your job, Sean. Let's go.
Hey, and by the way, to Jalen Burlinson, yes, I'm still on the Shaden Sharp train. So sue you. Sharp looks bad. LOL. Jeff is quiet. I'm not quiet. I still want Shaden Sharp. But if I'm being realistic, and I'm thinking of our lovely GM, Troy Weaver, I just don't think he's going to do that. But again, that's my favorite player still. So if you want to have that debate, maybe we'll do a courthouse, because I want people to join on and debate me on that, because I love it.
Oh, yeah, we got to bring the courthouse back. That's coming back real soon. Yeah, 100%. Adam, I love you too, man. Thank you so much for coming in. We love you. Adam Baydoun, shout out to the guy, the legend. We've been talking about having him back on the pod for a while, so it was really fun that he came through on this one.
Yeah, he's the man.
But everyone, thank you so much for tuning in. Before we go, Troy, I do want to ask you, as far as the Mount Rushmore, as we have that Mount Rushmore conversation, if Steph Curry wins Finals MVP, where in the NBA Mount Rushmore do you think he belongs? Do you think that we will start putting Steph's name in the echelon of the Michaels, the Magics, the LeBrons? Do you think we start putting him in the top 10 all time? Do you think we start having the conversation of the best point guard of all time? What do you think happens if Steph Curry wins the Finals MVP, and ultimately if they win the Finals in general?
Certainly top 10 of all time. And I think, okay, this is after this week and after the Finals, top 10 of all time. But I think when he retires, I'm thinking top 5. I do.
You think? I just want to give you a quick answer, Troy. I need an answer. Is he better than Isaiah Thomas if he wins?
Yes.
I feel you. Honestly, you can make a case he's better right now, and I might agree with you. And I love Isaiah Thomas, and I think in the body of work and everything, I get all that. But for Curry, and you could take, yes, he's the greatest shooter, and people get so obsessed with that. But in terms of like just impact, he just won All-Star MVP this year. Like, no one talks about that.
Yeah,
quietly,
no
got the
one
most
talks
threes
about
ever
that.
in an All-Star game. And I get there's no defense, but still, I mean, All-Star MVP, it's got to mean something.
Well, even just beyond that, I mean, it's the fact that we just saw Steph Curry already set the all-time NBA 3 record, and he's in his prime. And there's a litany of different things accolades and things you can point about Steph Curry. The guy goes out and will just subtly break records on a weekly basis. That's just who he is. And also, he's completely revolutionized the game. The way that we talk about basketball, the way that we scheme about basketball, like you talk about the effect that he has. He's only 6'3", and people are going out and it's acting like, and it's like Yao Ming's on the court. It's truly like how people used to look at 7'6" guys who could just go up and get it right over the basket. That's how they guard Curry. They're terrified. So as far as like, is he better than Isaiah Thomas? I mean, like, it's such a difficult conversation because they played such different games, even for being point guards too. Yeah, I think they're both individually great for their own reasons. However, I do think
you ranking them, Sean. You got to rank
them. No. I was about to say, listen.
Okay.
But ultimately, what would put Curry over the top is that I think Isaiah Thomas is an all-time competitor. I think Steph Curry has parts of his game where he's the greatest of all time at that. Whereas I don't think Isaiah has a greatest part of his game. I think he's very similar to Jimmy Butler in the sense that he's a guy that just wins basketball games and he wills his team to wins. And it's not going to look flashy. It's not going to look sexy.
Tough.
It very well can, but it's tough, grimy, gritty, and it's gutsy. That's the type of guy that he is, in my opinion.
And he plays both. And he plays the other side of the court too. Yep. So I got to give him that too. I really do. Can't let that slide on the rug.
100%. But guys, you're gonna want to be tuned in next week, because next Wednesday our NBA draft special podcast drops, and I am happy to announce that for our special guests, we'll be having Bryce from Motor City Hoops on with us. That's right. We're gonna be having on Motor City Hoops. And we're going to, exactly. We're super pumped. We're going to be talking NBA draft, all the top prospects, the top board. The guy knows so much about these prospects. He's truly super smart. So I'm super excited. But also, We're going to have a ton of content coming out this week as well. So be sure that you're tied into the channel. Be sure you're following Jeff. Be sure you're following Troy. Be sure you're following myself. But again, subscribe, join down low. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we will catch you next time from Half Court. Be sure to subscribe.